Um, I usually don't make videos like this. I think that sometimes when tragic things happen in the world, a lot of people like to grow their social space or profit off of bad things that happen. And if you know me, I'm not a big supporter of that. Um, but I kind of felt like I shouldn't even be talking about it on here. That's why it took so long, because I felt like I wasn't the person to do it for those reasons, and then also just gathering my thoughts and thinking about what could be said that hasn't already been said. And I've been encouraged by other people that I've had conversations with to share my beliefs or my reaction and to what's going on and what happened with the recent death of George Floyd. Um, George Floyd wasn't alone. I mean, it's many George Floyds. It's many people who have died because of police brutality. It's many people who have died because of their ethnicity. We just saw another one last week where a guy was just jogging and he didn't know that it was his last day he'd be living on earth. And like I said, I'm just gonna give you guys my perception about it. And I think it's a few key things that everybody needs to be focusing on. The first thing I just wanted to talk about was oppression. All right, because I think our focus is too narrow right now. Um, in the scientific way, I guess I could say it is, oppression can be forceful and it can be through deprivation, and that means like forceful is like police brutality or you know getting bad names called about you just because of your ethnicity, and people doing things to you, spitting on you or like different things like that. And then it can be through deprivation, and that goes into when people talk about voting and the system, right? So I'm from Maywood, Illinois, suburb of Chicago, and in Chicago we are familiar with redlining and like how they have created systems to help people like me, or not help, to influence people like me to remain poor and to not be able to get access to capital and to change their lives. Not only with just that, they have created laws in the past. I mean, just a very popular one is crack and cocaine. The people who look like me, majority of those people that were selling either one of those drugs were selling crack, and crack and cocaine are very similar. Many people would say they're the same. It's just the way that they're formatted, I guess. But the majority ethnicity would sell cocaine, so they decided to give higher sentences for people who sold crack. Um, in other words, the correlation was they designed a law that would make black people or people of minorities serve longer prison times than people who were selling the same or very similar substance that were in the majority race. And that's the best way I can say it. I mean, I'm pretty sure you heard of that. But I bring that up because it's been going on for a long time. Sometimes you kind of lose hope as being a minority. I've said many times in my life, I'm gonna die and there's still gonna be slavery on this earth. And I still believe that to be true. But I want to say that I was encouraged this past week. I do see changes. I do see some things that I haven't seen in the past, and that's a good sign. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about was what do we need to do, right? So I won't say I'm fully supportive of looting. And the reason why I say I'm fully supportive is because I don't know what to do. All right, I'm not one of them people that want to point out a problem but never has the solution. So if I say it's a problem and I don't know how to fix it, and then when somebody does something that I might not have thought of, now I talk bad about them. I'm not that type of person. And I do feel like with the looting, even though I don't condone anybody, stealing from anybody, rich or poor, from the majority ethnicity or from minority, I just feel like overall the looting has impacted people financially. And a lot of times to make differences in the United States, it is to impact finances. A popular thing in the past, and this might be a little bit controversial, or this might be controversial, was a research paper I did in the past on Abraham Lincoln. And most people would think of Abraham Lincoln as like, okay, the person that helped us get out of slavery, and think he was like such this great man that was not racist. It was never supported if he was, if he wasn't racist. Like, we still don't know. But we know that the main reason why they fought to end slavery was because the North felt like the South had an advantage with cheap labor. And like, we still see that to this day, that people want cheap labor and people try to fight against it. It's the reason why, Nike doesn't make shoes in the United States. People want cheap labor. So those values still have come to today, but that's not what this is about. But I just wanted to say, like, finances are a big part of this. That's why I love that they came up with the idea about the Black Tuesday. But what I want to say about Black Tuesday, and what I want to say to, all the people who are, trying to make a difference, making a post, making a video like this, speaking up, walking, doing peaceful protests, people who are looting, all the people who are doing it for this reason to better the world. I know some people are not. Some people are using this as an opportunity to just to be the person they are, or to be greedy, or to take advantage of certain situations, and I can't do anything about that. But I want to encourage us to have more stamina. And what I mean by that is, I hope that this can go on longer than the times I've seen in the past. I've seen the same situation where people are uproared and they want to do things, and it only lasts a couple days, a couple weeks, maybe a month. But I'm asking us to, gain some more stamina. Like, let's continue this. Like, why can't Black Tuesday be extended all throughout the year? And when I say that, I don't want, us to not buy something on Tuesday and then we go buy everything on Wednesday. I think that's why Chick-fil-A does so great on Mondays, because they, Sunday you can't have it, so now on Monday you want it even more. So that's not solving the problem either. But if we decide to not spend money on Tuesdays, that's a great idea. I mean, and I'm pretty open to hearing new ideas, but I'm just using that as an example. With the marches or whatever you plan on doing, I just hope it just continues to go until we see a change. Because sometimes you can lose hope. Sometimes you can just be tired and you give up. And I feel like we've done that many times in the past. And then another thing that I think is very important, and this is for my people who are part of the majority ethnicity. And just to make that clear, majority ethnicity is people with privilege and white people, European Americans, Caucasians, whatever you want to call them. And when I say minorities, I'm talking about all of us, African Americans, Black, the Latin Americans, Hispanics, Arab Americans, Asians, all of us who are oppressed in the United States, just to be clear. But I want to challenge you guys, to do something that we can't do. I think a lot of times I hear, it's like, the black people need to do this on their own, and they don't need to expect, white people to help us. We gotta fix our own problems. And I just want to give you my story and hopefully this will give you a more clearer view. I'm a black young man that has went to private schools for college. Somebody texted me, sorry. Has went to private schools for college and developed a lot of relationships with, white people, and I have a lot of white friends. That sounds weird when people say that, but I do. And I get the opportunity to talk with them about these sensitive topics because a lot of them are, in my field of counseling, and they like to be advocates for us, and they like to support us. And one thing I hear a lot is, like, they say like their parents share an idea that they don't support, or somebody told them something that they don't support. In other words, they're telling me like, somebody said something racist to me and I didn't like it. And what I tell them is that most of the time, I would never be able to talk to that person. Because I don't know if you notice or not, being racist is not popular in the United States right now. Say anything racist, and your legacy will be affected as you breathe. Say anything racist, and your business will be impacted. So it's not very popular. So people are not coming out here, especially the guys who look like me, and saying racist things. And a lot of times if they meet a person like me, or a person who can talk well or whatever, and I can communicate with them, and I know like what makes them feel uncomfortable or whatever, then they may consider me an exception. But I'm just like every other black person, grew up in a black neighborhood, and I feel like overall I won't be able to make that significant change. So I challenge you to talk to these people that are in the closet racist, or the people who are only racist when they feel like they're in a safe environment, because they can actually say what they really mean. And in the streets, we have no idea. So I want to challenge you on that. And then the last thing I want to say and challenge our minorities, right? Us black people, specifically us black people. I want to challenge us to not be internally racism or racist, not to internally oppress ourselves. Because I think a lot of times we hold white culture at a gold standard, like how we talk, how we dress, the type of lifestyle we have. And it's like, are you trying to live in a white neighborhood? You trying to get into this? You trying to get into white schools? And I think like that is a problem that we do, and that's something we need to change. Because, like I said, I'm from Maywood, Illinois, Chicago suburb, and I'm right next to the west side with a lot of them, like they end their sentence off with shorty like it's a period. Like, what you doing, shorty? What you want, shorty? And there's nothing wrong with that, right? There's nothing wrong with that because it's their culture. Just like in Texas, they say y'all. And when I was in Chicago, like if I wrote y'all on my paper, that was considered poor grammar. But here, I can actually do that at a very prestigious college, and it's not looked down upon. So I feel like we need to accept our culture more. We need to celebrate our culture more, not only with sports and, careers that are glamorized, like acting, stuff like that. We need to accept one another for who we are, In our culture, we might say some things that are not fully accepted or may make other ethnicities or cultures feel uncomfortable. But we need to learn how to champion those things and learn how to value those things and understand that that's what makes us us. And not put each other down or tell each other that we have to adapt to the so-called gold culture to be successful. So I challenge you to do that. I challenge myself all the time, because I do catch myself like, why do you gotta talk like that? why he do that. But every single time you talk down about your culture and what comes natural and what they do, you pushing up the other culture and raising that gold standard and telling that person that they are not worth, they're not worthy unless they are like that other culture. It's a lot of other things I had on my mind, but I don't want to make this video too long. I hope that you guys was able to get something out of what I said. I hope I didn't offend anybody. But at the end of the day, I think when you say things that you mean, it doesn't matter if you offend anybody. For example, if Drew Brees really felt that way, don't come with a fake apology. So, if you see this video, if you're upset with what I said, I won't apologize. Because I meant everything I said. My name is Deshaun. If you want to see more videos, you know what to do. And you'll see me soon.